Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Canto 10, Chapter 3, named The Birth of Lord Krishna, Text 22. Ayam tvasabhyastava janmanau grihe Shrutva grajamste nvadadhi sureshvara Satevataram purushai samarapitam Shrutva dhunaiva bhisaratya udayudha Ayam te asabhyastava janmanau grihe Shrutva grajamste nyavadhit sureshvara Satevataram purushai samarapitam Shrutva dhunaiva bhisaratya udayudha Ayam te asabhyastava janmanau grihe Shrutva grajamste nyavadhit sureshvara Satevataram purushai samarapitam Shrutva dhunaiva bhisaratya udayudha Matajis. Ayam, this rascal, to, but, asabhya, who is not civilized at all. Asura means uncivilized, and sura means civilized. Tava, of your lordship, Janma, the birth. Now, our grihe, into the home. Shrutva, after hearing. Agrajante, all the brothers born before you. Nyavadhit, killed. Sura Ishvara, O Lord of the Suras, the civilized persons. Saha, he, that uncivilized Kamsa. Te, your. Avataram, appearance. Purushaihi, by his lieutenants. Samarapitam, being informed of. Shrutva, after hearing. Adhuna, now. Eva, indeed. Abhisarati, will come immediately. Udayudha, with raised weapons. Translation. O my Lord, Lord of the demigods, after hearing the prophecy that you would take birth in our home and kill him, this uncivilized Kamsa killed so many of your elder brothers. As soon as he hears from his lieutenants that you have appeared, he will immediately come with weapons to kill you. Purport. Kamsa has here been described as asabhya, meaning uncivilized or most heinous, because he killed the many children of his sister. When he heard the prophecy that he would be killed by her 8th son, this uncivilized man, Kamsa, was immediately ready to kill his innocent sister on the occasion of her marriage. An uncivilized man can do anything for the satisfaction of his senses. He can kill children, he can kill cows, he can kill brahmanas, he can kill old men. He has no mercy for anyone. According to the Vedic civilization, cows, women, children, old men, and brahmanas should be excused if they are at fault. But asuras, uncivilized men, do not care about that. At the present moment, the killing of cows and the killing of children is going on unrestrictedly. And therefore, this civilization is not at all human. And those who are conducting this condemned civilization are uncivilized asuras. Such uncivilized men are not in favor of Krishna consciousness movement. As public officers, they declare without hesitation that the chanting of the Hare Krishna movement is a nuisance. Although Bhagavad Gita clearly says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataha. According to this verse, it is the duty of the Mahatmas to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and try to spread it all over the world to the best of their ability. Unfortunately, society is in such an uncivilized state that there are so-called Mahatmas who are prepared to kill cows and children and stop the Hare Krishna movement. Such uncivilized activities were actually demonstrated in the opposition to the Hare Krishna movement's Bombay center, Hare Krishna land, as Kamsa was not expected to kill the beautiful child of Devaki and Vasudev. The uncivilized society, although unhappy about the advancement of the Krishna consciousness movement, cannot be expected to stop it. Yet, we must face many difficulties in many different ways. Although Kamsa cannot be killed, although Krishna cannot be killed, Vasudev, as the father of Krishna, was trembling because in affection he thought that Kamsa would immediately come and kill his son. Similarly, although the Krishna consciousness movement and Krishna are not different and no asuras can check it, we are afraid that at any moment asuras can stop this movement in any part of the world. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guran Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So here there are quite few very interesting topics being described by Srila Prabhupada. The first one, Srila Prabhupada is describing about the uncivilized people. Among them, Kamsa was considered as the most heinous. Uncivilized people means they have no culture. They do whatever their senses tell them to do. They have no discrimination. I feel like doing, so I will do so. Generally, this nature is found in like young kids who are not trained. Right? They do whatever they want. If they don't get what they want, they start crying, they start demanding, and they will do that until they get it. That's why Shastra mentions that when a person is born, he's just like an animal. He needs to be trained into becoming a human being. Unless he is trained, he's just an animal, uncivilized. If you see all these activities, as Srila Prabhupada mentions, killing children, killing cow, is going on unrestrictedly. This is animal behavior. Many times we see there are certain animals, beasts, they eat their own children. Many times it's noticed. I think generally crocodiles, they are one of those. No culture. And if we take it further, we can see some aspects of this being uncivilized in our own life. The way how we treat our seniors, the way how we treat our equals, our juniors, many times is uncivilized. We talk to them as if they are not people, don't consider their nature, their likes and dislikes. All these things come from being uncivilized. When a person does not follow Krishna consciousness, he remains uncivilized. A very nice example is of Narada Muni and the hunter. The hunter would kill the animals for his own sense pleasure. Half kill them, and he would enjoy them being suffering. And Narada Muni, after giving his association, he became such a devotee that he would not even want to kill an ant. Everybody knows this pastime. So unless and until you become Krishna conscious, you cannot become fully civilized. Krishna consciousness is the only thing that turns an animal into a human being. And human being, their primemost duty is to become Krishna conscious, preach Krishna conscious, and go back to Godhead. So unless one does that, he cannot be considered as a human being. Srila Prabhupada, the next point he mentions, in the Vedic civilization, cows, women, children, old men and brahmanas should be excused even if they are at fault. What does this mean? Does this mean that they can do whatever they feel like and they should just be excused? No. These people, for example cows, they are mothers. If you have ever taken care of cows, you will see how nice they behave. We have some cows in our house, and there's a funny story related. Cows, they know exactly what is happening in the family. My father, he had a big, huge bull weighing at least 1200 kilos. Huge. Somehow, he was more affectionate to my mother. My father is the person going around cleaning, petting, taking care of them, feeding them. But the bull liked my mother much more than he liked my father. One time, something happened and my father became angry with my mother in the Gaushala. And chastised her. And when he came to pick up the cow dung behind, the bull dung behind the bull just whacked him with his tail. And my father got even more annoyed. He's like, what is this? Everything is upon me. I have to take care of this. And then, he was angry with my mother. He was getting on her case. And there is a wall. There was a father and the bull. And the bull just turned, put his head against my father's stomach and just kept on pressing. About 1200 kilo bull, you can imagine what energy he can have. He kept on pressing and my father got stuck. He can't move. He said, okay, I'm sorry. I asked forgiveness from my wife. Bull did not move. My mother came and she said, hey, the bull's name was Gopal. This Gopal, you should not behave like this with Prabhu. Don't do it. That was it. The bull stepped back. My father, he said, this is nonsense. He just stepped back just because he felt like. It's nothing to do with you. Believe it or not, the bull understood and he pressed him back to the wall. And it took my mother to tell the bull again, step back, and he did. But sometimes they, when the calves are around, they would eat something, what is kept outside the house, some fruit, something, some good, they will go eat. But my father would never hurt them. Why? Because it's not their fault that they ate. They are animals. By instinct, they go, they eat. They see food, they go eat. That's called Annamaya platform. Oh, food, me, hunger, eat. They don't think about anything else. It's the fault of the person who did not put the things in proper place. Similarly, women, they are always engaged in performing service. If you keep them, if you maintain them happily, they will perform service happily. Sometimes they make mistakes, but it is the duty of the husband, because he is the responsible person, to make sure they don't do something wrong. That's why they should be excused. Children, their intelligence has not matured. They need protection, guidance, education. So that is also our duty. That's why if they make a mistake, it's actually our fault. The kids are running around and there is a big nice flower vase. They bump into it, it breaks, $1,000 vase gone lost. Is it the mistake of the kid? No. You know there are kids around. You should be aware, put it away. You cannot get angry with the kids when they are doing that. But that does not mean you don't discipline them. You don't educate them. But they should be excused. Old men, Srila Prabhupada said, small children can do anything, old men can speak anything. You can't complain. Many times in our society, we hear, this senior devotee did that, or that Prabhupada disciple is speaking this, But the funny aspect is, the amount of dedication they have given to Srila Prabhupada, to this movement, and only because of them do we exist in Sridham Mayapur, sitting here. If they would not have done what they did, we would not have been here. So that's why that has to be respected. Unless and until we can do what they have done, we should not speak. In the early days, they were all kids, 18, 20, 25-year-olds, who went to a complete foreign land, opened up a preaching center. Right, Prabhu? 20, 25 years old. How many 20, 25 years old today can do such a thing? Hardly anyone. Nowadays, kids at the age of 20, 25, they are still figuring out what they want to do in their life. So those kind of people have no right to speak about, this old man is being grumpy. They should be excused. I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong, no harm in saying sorry. Even if it is their mistake, you save a lot of trouble. There was somebody sent a joke. When a boy goes to his father and he says, "Father, I want to get married." The father said, "Say sorry." So why would I say sorry? No, say sorry. He goes on. And finally says, "Okay, I'm sorry." He says, "Now you're ready to get married." He says, "Why?" He said, "You learn to say sorry when it's not your mistake." So, just move on. I was having a discussion with another devotee. He was mentioning that he gets very, very angry when some things don't happen even after being explained 50 times. He says, "What am I supposed to do? These people don't understand. They are getting, they're making the same mistake. That's why I get angry." And the point is, if you get angry, will it make any difference? Most of the time, it doesn't. If you have a relationship with the person, you don't need to become angry. They just see that you are upset with something, they change. If you don't have a relationship with the person, what's the point of becoming angry? Because they are not going to change anyway. So in any situation, there is no need to become angry with any aspect. Bhagavad Gita mentions lust, anger, and greed are the 3 doorways to hell. Why to open one of those for ourselves? We should try and see how not to become angry. But that you can only do if you follow Krishna consciousness properly. You follow, you chant your japa properly. Once, His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu, he mentioned, there was one devotee being very, very upset, senior person, very, very upset every day for months. And Pankajangi Prabhu said, you should just chant your japa properly and you will be fine. If you don't chant, your life is going to be miserable. And we have seen this several times in our life. You get up in the morning, you finish 16 rounds, your whole day goes peacefully. You get up in the morning, you don't chant 16 rounds, you have difficulties. So, we can take care. And lastly, Brahmanas. Now Brahmanas, they are simple people. They are supposed to study, teach. That is their primary duty. They are not supposed to be running around, taking care of their financial needs. They are not supposed to be running around being political about people. They are supposed to be studying, preaching, uplifting the society in Krishna consciousness. If sometimes by mistake, they do something wrong, okay, you explain the situation, move on. They are not to be punished. Even if the Brahman has performed, according to Manu Samhita, even if a Brahmana has performed activity that requires corporal punishment, he should not be killed. You can give some lighter punishments. There is a pastime when Arjuna wanted to kill Maharaj Yudhishthir. In the Mahabharata war, Karna came in front of Yudhishthir Maharaj and he severely wounded him, but he left him alive. So Maharaj Yudhishthir went back to the camp, got treated. Arjuna heard about this. So before he can go and fight with Karna, he came to see Maharaj Yudhishthir. And Maharaj Yudhishthir, upon seeing Arjuna, assumed that he must have killed Karna. So he said, oh, thank you very much, you killed Karna, he gave me so much pain, he has been killing our soldiers, going on and on. And Arjuna says, oh, no, hold on, I have not killed him yet, I just came to see how you are feeling. Are you alive? How is your state? I heard you were... And Maharaj Yudhishthira becomes extremely angry. He says, what? You are afraid of comforting Karna? What is the use of this Gandiva in your hand? You should give it up. And Arjuna had made a secret vow that if anybody who says to give away his Gandiva, he's going to kill that person. Now what is he supposed to do? That's his elder brother. He's a Kshatriya, a man of his words. He has made this vow. He tells Krishna, what am I supposed to do in this situation? I've made a vow. If somebody tells me to give up Gandiva, I will kill him. Here is my elder brother. And that time Lord Krishna mentions, he is born as a Kshatriya, but by nature he is a complete Brahmana. For Brahmana, insult is worse than death. Just insult him. So he goes over saying, oh, Arjuna starts saying, oh, because of me, the whole war is being victorious, only because, what have you achieved in this war? I have defeated Dronacharya, I have defeated Bhishma Dev, and he goes on and on and on. He says, what have you done? Insulted. And Yudhishthira Maharaj feels, oh, what is the point of me living anymore? Let me go and kill myself if my younger brother is going to insult me. And then Krishna comes and he says, no. This is the situation. He made a vow. You're just like a Brahmana by nature. So he insulted you. And so his vow is taken care of killing you. And you are still alive. So don't worry. We will go now. We'll kill Karna and we'll see you in the night. They go kill Karna, come back at night. Haribo. So Brahmanas also should be excused. Then Srila Prabhupada explains how these uncivilized people are always wanting to stop the Krishna consciousness movement. And he gives the example of Bombay, Hare Krishna land, Juhu temple. Srila Prabhupada said that was the best fight of his life. He had to, seriously. And when this person, forgot his name. Sorry? Nair. Mr. Nair, when he died, I heard from this devotee, I don't know how true it is, Srila Prabhupada was like, thank you, Krishna. That's what he did, yeah? Srila Prabhupada was like, thank you, Krishna. So last time when I saw him, he was already limping, and I knew he was finished. So Srila Prabhupada, he says, Similarly, although the Krishna consciousness movement and Krishna are non-different and no asura can check it, we are afraid that at any moment the asuras can stop this movement in any part of the world. Recently we saw they tried doing it in Russia. The preaching of Bhagavad Gita was trying to be stopped. Devotees fought hard. Russia somehow has been the place where devotees have suffered the most. They got beaten, they were thrown in jail, they were bleeding, but they maintained performing Krishna consciousness activities. And today we see they are doing very good in Krishna consciousness. Apparently they say Hinduism is the fastest growing religion in Russia. In Gurukul, we have 50% boys who are Russian. Yeah. They are doing very, very nice in their Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada did mention there's one thing that we must be very, very careful of. Srila Prabhupada said this Krishna consciousness movement is so powerful that no entity from outside will be able to destroy it. If it gets destroyed, it will only be from inside. And that's from us. If we don't perform Krishna consciousness properly, we will destroy it. Srila Prabhupada, he said, I could give you the whole world in 18 days, but you are not prepared for it. He said, we will bring out a cultural revolution in the whole world. But we have failed to a certain degree with that. We have taken up so many Western thoughts which are not conducive, which are not in favor to the Vedic system. One of those things is serving a buffet system. When you go, with plates in hand, you get served. It feels like you're getting fed in a jail. You go with your friends, you sit, you don't know where to sit. Your one friend sits there, another one sits there, another one sits there. You open Chaitanya Charitamrita. Somebody was mentioning 50% of Chaitanya Charitamrita is talking about who cooked, what was cooked, who served, how now it was served, and what the mood was. We see Krishna, he sits down with hundreds of thousands of his cowherd boys, and the way interaction they are having during prasad, during their bhoga. But we have taken up this system, going buffet system. There is no interaction. We are limiting ourselves from interacting with devotees. We walk around on the street and there is a devotee coming from the front, but you put your head low, look at the plants nearby, at the sunset on the other side, and you don't interact with the devotee in front. Why? We are afraid to do so. We live in Mayapur Dham, but we don't take darshan of Radha Madhava even once a day. All these kind of small things is going to end up into big uncivilized person that we will become. Individuals, but we will become. If we don't follow Srila Prabhupada's mood, Srila Prabhupada's teachings very nicely. It was, interesting enough, we were seeing the first Rath Yatra that Srila Prabhupada organized. They fed 10,000 plates they served out. And 10,000 plates, the devotees went around serving, and there were quite few preparations in them. And today we say, because of, some practical reasons, we don't want to serve the devotees. Rupa Goswami, he mentions there are 6 loving exchanges between devotees. Giving gifts, receiving gifts. Opening your mind in confidence to someone and letting them open their minds in confidence to us. Nowadays it's so difficult. People don't want to open their hearts in confidence because next thing will happen, it will be up on the Facebook. This is happening with this particular devotee. You are afraid. The last set is feed prasad and let them feed you prasad. And now when you go for this buffet system of serving, oh, Prabhu, can I have one more spoon of sabji? No, Prabhu, only one. Move. They will not serve you. Why? Because they are afraid if I give him more spoons, will there be enough for me? But the interesting thing is, if you serve nicely, at the end of the serving, even if you have done for 2 hours, you don't feel hungry. You feel satisfied. And we have experienced this several times. You serve devotees nicely, you don't feel like I need to eat. You serve the deities the whole day. And when you come back after the festival, you don't feel like, oh, I'm so tired, I need to go to sleep. No, there is still energy. You're filled with, spiritual energy. Sometimes, devotees have asked, you're working whole day on these festivals. How come you're still not tired? No, we are tired. But there is still that spiritual energy is there that allows you to work even more. You have been fasted the whole day. Jananivas Prabhu, Pankajangri Prabhu, they are close to 75 if not more. They still fast on Janmashtami, Nirjala, and perform the whole service. It's incredible. How is it possible? It's possible because they are devotees of that caliber. Krishna gives them the energy. But if we don't see these things, we just start thinking everything to be practical and not consider devotees as people, persons who have their own desires, who have their own needs, then we will turn into one of these uncivilized people. Maybe not to the level of Kamsa, but we will be uncivilized. So to protect ourselves and everybody, we must take to Krishna consciousness very, very seriously, according to how Srila Prabhupada has given it to us. Srila Prabhupada is the only person who has kept Krishna consciousness alive. Even though there are so many different sampradayas who are bona fide preachers of Krishna consciousness, they are only able to flourish if they preach according to the way how Srila Prabhupada has taught. If they don't do that, they are not successful. And I am not saying this from my own mental concoction. It's been spoken by the big sannyasis of the different sampradayas. You go to the Madhvas, there is one Acharya called Pejawar Swami. Very, very successful preacher. Why? He follows the means that Srila Prabhupada took. And among the Shris, there is another one, can't remember his name. He said, we are successful because the way we do according to how Srila Prabhupada has done. We are in the disciplic line of Srila Prabhupada. It's very important we take on the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Study the books given by him. Follow the sadhana that he has given for us. And then we will become extremely powerful, extremely conscious, and a very good devotee of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any comments or any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. This is in regard to the advantages of being in an old body. There's a story one time Srila Prabhupada was trying to explain to a businessman in India here, Achinta Beta Beta Tattva, the simultaneously one and different. And he was saying, don't you see the difference between cotton and cotton shirt? And the man said, no, I don't see any difference. And started arguing. And Prabhupada said it again, but a little bit louder. He says, don't you see the difference between cotton and a cotton shirt? And he says, no, there is no difference. He's going on like that. And Prabhupada reached across the table and grabbed his shirt and shook him and says, don't you see the difference now between cotton and a cotton shirt? And the man says, yes, I see the difference. And Prabhupada let go. And all the devotees in the room are like, what just happened? Prabhupada grabbed that guy. And after that, all the guests left. The devotees were just sitting there stunned, looking at Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada says, you cannot preach like this. I can do it because I am old man.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji. Is it the... Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, actually, you were explaining very wonderfully about details of Brahmana and women like that. So when you were explaining about Brahmana, then you were telling that when a Brahmana does mistake, like it is to be forgiven. But like to what level, what kind of mistake? Because if he is doing mistakes again and again, then he may not be a Brahmana. So how do we know he's a Brahmana if he's doing mistake like that? So that is like, can you please explain that?
To err is human. To make mistakes, that's what human beings meant. Yeah, they do many mistakes. But it's not that even if Brahmana does not, if he, let's say he kills a man, you let him go, he's a Brahmin, he can do whatever he feels like. No, then he has to be dealt with. But you can't give him corporal punishment. You can't kill him. Because he is a Brahmana, he already understands he made a mistake because of the consciousness being on a very high level. He already knows. He already regrets. So if there is a regret, you can let him go. But you can punish him till the level that he gets the regret. If he doesn't get regret, then he's not a Brahmana. And you can deal with him the way you like. But as soon as a person understands that he has made a mistake and he is ready to correct himself, then that person, doesn't matter if he's Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, he should be forgiven. Because the punishment means they should feel, yes, I have made a mistake and I need to be corrected. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Thank you very much.
Just pass it to Prabhu at the back.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for such a wonderful class. You mentioned at one point that, for practical reasons, we tend to, neglect promoting and nurturing a civilized culture. And you gave example, it happens around us, we see it, you gave a few examples of that. What is it that's so important that it should be practical that we ignore? Because civilized culture is contagious, right? We see civilized culture and we can follow it easily. Especially the Indian mentality is, if you keep certain things neat and clean, then they will think not to throw some garbage around, like they can. So why does it not trickle down from the leadership to actually promote and nurture a civilized culture? Because we see certain examples that around us that are not happening, then it will be difficult for the juniors to actually step up and follow it.
Yeah, see, practical, actually, if you define practicality, it needs to have few aspects. One, that it's easily attainable. Second, it's not compromising on the principles of anything. And third, it's uplifting you in Krishna consciousness. If these three things are being achieved, then that thing, what you do could be practical. For example, let's take the example of serving prasad. Now, you take your plate, you get served, you go sit down wherever you get find space, you eat, you stand up, you leave, somebody else comes and sits in your place, they eat, they leave. So it's a constant flow, nobody has to wait for too long outside in a line. For cleaning it's very good, it's done very efficiently, you don't need that many people for serving. So in one way, it's very, very practical. But what it does, it compromises on your relationships, It compromises on the respect of Mahaprasad. You're sitting down in the same dirty place that somebody else had sat down just a minute before you. Yeah. So you're placing Mahaprasad in a dirty area, in an impure area. Now we talk about Mahaprasad being non-different from Krishna. So how can you place Krishna in an unclean place? Srila Prabhupada mentions, cleanliness is next to godliness. So you're compromising on that. Yeah. So then you see all these things. Okay, devotees, they come, bring out more devotees. Let's say there are 100 people. Now, about 8 to 10 people can easily serve 100 people. Once they are done, certainly those 100 people who sat and ate, easily 8 or 10 people from those 100 people who sat and ate can come back and say, Prabhu, I would like to serve. So those people who were serving, they also get properly served. And then, that's practical. And then you have a group of people who are there involved in cleaning, like you see in Mayapur on daily basis. They serve you, then they have a group that just goes around cleaning, wash, wipe, dry, new batch of people sit down. And it's been happening for years and years and years. Now if you are, you're worried about, it's been hot, people are waiting outside, put a shed there. That's practical. So how to uplift everybody in Krishna consciousness, how to not change the principle. Details may differ. Instead of having 20 preparations as a feast, let's say you have 10. And 10 preparation is a big feast on its own. So that's also quicker in your service. People will eat nicely. They will have a nice, attitude, and they will move on. So that will become very, very practical. And at the same time, they have a very nice Krishna conscious experience. Does that?
Yeah, you make very good points that the principle should not be compromised.
Right.
And then the practical becomes very simple to implement. But a lot of things you say, we can do like this, we should do like this, but we also see that it's not happening because we don't always keep Srila Prabhupada in the center and things from that perspective, and certain things we see around us, like what things are being sold in convenience stores or Mahaprasad stalls or even like that. So my point is, if the leadership implements, then devotees can follow easily. So that's more practical reflection.
So, as you said, if we forget to keep Srila Prabhupada in the center, so we should do that. We should see how Srila Prabhupada has done. It was last Julan Yatra. Harishavari Prabhu was there, and we asked him to offer a lamp to the deities before the Julan starts. And I brought the lamp to him, and I'm trying to light it, and it's taking so long to get lit, and I'm like, here is such a senior devotee standing, and I'm like, taking so long to light these lamps. And at one point I asked him, Prabhu, how would Srila Prabhupada react to this particular situation when he is holding the lamp and somebody is trying to light it and it's not lighting for so long? How would Srila Prabhupada react? Would he get angry? And he said, no. He would just be happy that we are all here together trying to serve Radha Madhava. That sentence brought so much peace in my heart that I was like, okay. It didn't say that, now we can just sit back, relax, be lazy. No, we are trying our best. So if you are trying your best to please Srila Prabhupada, and in that process if you make some mistake, okay, Srila Prabhupada is happy. I heard some devotee put a bench here in the garden, and Srila Prabhupada said, you are blessed by Rupa Goswami. Putting up a bench, Rupa Goswami, why? But that encouraged the devotees. Srila Prabhupada is giving the blessings of Rupa Goswami to us. So as you said, keep Srila Prabhupada in the center and continue doing your service. Mistakes will happen for sure. But we move on. Would that be okay, Prabhu? Thank you. Yes, Prabhuji.
I have some problem. Would we Sri Sri Radha Madhav, it should be
Could you repeat, Prabhu?
the food we offer to Sri Sri Radha Madhav. So I think it should be very pure. It should not be contaminated. It should not be something duplicate. So we get so many prasadam stall. They are not very pure, fully made of milk. They have some maida in it always. So many things. It is so much mixture. And when we go to eat food, like I don't know how to cook food, but I'm staying here since many months. So I have to depend on Gada Gita Bhavan. But after when I eat food continuously, it's very sick because the quality food they don't maintain the quality, and the same food Krishna also eats. So how is that thing?
Means to make rasagullas you have to put maida in it. That's the recipe. So unless you have, okay, there is a different way also to make rasagullas, but then you get a different kind of rasagullas. So that's okay. Now in relation to the kitchens, the style of cooking they have is what is conducive to the local villagers, the way how they eat. So over there, means if, we have worked in those kitchens with the devotees, cooking with them and like that. So over there, they are trying their best. It may be that your body is not being able to accommodate what you eat over there. So that's a different story. But, they are trying their best to give good prasad. Everything is cooked in mustard oil. Now, Srila Prabhupada mentions, if you want to eat healthy, you cook everything in ghee. You want to eat everything tasty, you cook it in mustard oil. And mustard oil is not bad for your health either. So things are getting cooked in mustard oil. There are devotees, for example, Radha Dyuti Prabhu, who's the head of the Sulabh kitchen. He's a very nice devotee. For years and years he's been trying and serving the devotees. You will see in his personal life, you will always see him chanting, the way how he interacts with devotees is like so nice. So they are trying their best, and their main, their group of people are the local Bengali people who come. So that's what they are used to eating. So either you have an option of getting somebody who can cook nice for you or learn cooking. Yeah. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, just in continuation of the points Prabhu made just now. A couple of months ago when I was in South India, having no access to anybody cooking prasadam but myself, I kind of came to a very saturated plane where I decided that when I would come to Mayapur, whatever I get, I will accept. Now, after being here for a couple of months, definitely, as you said, devotees are putting their very best, and for practical considerations, they are doing whatever is required. Just recently, perhaps a week ago, I was in a shop, and the devotee who is owning that shop asked me, what do you do for prasadam? So I said, I go Sulabh and these places. Then he said, once in a while when you feel hungry, why don't you also try cooking at home? And when I went back home and thought about it, I have my deities, Radha, Shyam Sundar. I thought it's a wonderful suggestion. And I immediately ordered some stuff online so that I can cook, and so I'm planning to do that now. So it is a practical thing that if we can make a mixed blend of both what is available here, as well as you rightly mentioned, cook ourselves and serve our deities.
Yes.
It'll be a wonderful thing instead of just relying on what is available here.
Yes. Yeah. And like that, the deities are pleased. And because they are pleased, you will be happy. Okay, so we will end here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande.